Make sure accordingly. So. I should probably. Channels. Have to enable my channels for the chat. My suppression down. Like my voice suppression on OBS. Sorry, I just have to test some audio. You want it? I guess I just have to talk louder. Okay. Get going with MasterDuel. So I have been getting back playing MasterDuel lately, mostly because it's kind of hard to find people to play card games with. Second, I unlocked this Leo Drake and frame and the pictures. Sort of. Know what I mean? So we're gonna do in the rank. I've been trying to climb up. So I made this Aromage deck. I got inspired by the acceleration event that MasterDuel was having. So So I got a little inspired by the acceleration event that MasterDuel was hosting, where the focus was on getting moves done quickly, so you only had like 10 seconds to do any stuff during your turn. And the purpose was to prevent people from kind of dragging the game, playing those like decks where you have to really sit there and make a bunch of combos. This is one of those decks that you have to sit here and make a bunch of combos, but it's not always possible. So sometimes I end up losing. So I wanted to just show what's in the deck first, so that it's not like, whoa, what happened here? And you kind of understand what I have in my deck. I didn't use other people's decks as a reference. I just kind of was playing the game and I saw what I liked. I did look up online some cards that might be useful, but then I did eventually end up throwing them out, except for Lone Fire Blossom. That is one card that I do use, and it's because it's any plant monster and the whole deck is plants, so it's very versatile. I have Angel Trumpeter because it is a normal type monster and it is a tuner, which are not very common. The reason why I want that is because a lot of these effects will affect effect monsters only. So if you have any normal monsters, at the very minimum I can protect my tuner, which I need also to summon some monsters. And also because it's level 4, I can use it for the Queen Rena, the Black Ship, and or Castell, the Sky Blaster. So we're gonna... I have Aromage. It has a flip effect. It's very good when I have a defensive play. I try not to use it very often, but sometimes I'm in situations where I don't have anything better to do, or if I go first and I have a really bad hand, but I have Aromage, at least I can have it flip face up so that I've been gaining life points in my next turn. Aromaseraphy Angelica is a really interesting card. I mostly use it for its quick effect. I very rarely use it for its life point gain. But if you do have life points that are higher than your opponent's and you control an Aroma card and this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon it. So all of those things have to be true for you to special summon this card. And you can only use each effect once per turn. So you can, well, quick effect, throw this into the graveyard and then use its effect to bring it back out if you had another Aromage card out. So then the next one is Laurel. I used to have 3 copies, but he's not actually that useful and is very recyclable. So you don't actually need too many copies of this guy here. I only have 1 now. I do have 3 copies of Aroma Lilith Rosalina. I have waited, I don't know how many months for them to actually add this card into the Master Duel. So I knew that this card existed because I have it for real. Trading card. I had to wait for cards to appear Master Duel, which was pretty annoying. Speaking of annoying, messed up my nail polish again. I like this card a lot. It's my favorite. I really do like the artwork on it. I like how delicate her wings are and how she's got like this weird, like reddish, almost Dracula necklace type of thing going on here with her wings. And there's like a little jar on the bottom. Someone seems to be obsessed with feet at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card artwork production peoples, because there just seems to be this thing where everyone's feet is just like really pronounced and front and center. So yeah, and it's a dark type too, so you have to be very careful with this because a lot of people run cards that have effects that affect dark cards, so you do have Aromage Jasmine is also another card that I use a lot and you'll see me use a lot. I do like her satchel. She also has a really cute outfit. I like purple if you can't tell already. And she's got bright purple eyes, a nice purple cape, a beautiful staff with a nice wreath, and some purple candles around her. Let me see what's going on here with chat. I don't know if I'm actually seeing. Oh, there we go. Does it work? Hi. Okay. So during your main phase, if your life points are higher, you can normal summon another monster. So that's pretty cool, but it has to be a plant monster. Except at other gens. So you can't just like rinse and repeat. And then if you gain life points, you draw a card. But it's only once per turn. So I tried to make sure that I saved that. Lonefire Blossom, I already mentioned that I use a lot. The reason why I use it a lot is because I contribute itself or another card to then special summon a plant monster. And it's once per turn, but it's not like a hard once per turn. Sometimes you could do it more than once. Like sometimes you can get away with it. It's not, you can use each effect of this once per turn. if I had multiple Lone Fire Blossoms out, they could each use that effect. And then Aromage Kananga has an effect that makes the opponent lose 500 attack and defense. If I gain life points, I return a spell to them. This is like the only card that allows me to bounce back spell cards. I do have an Ash Blossom in here, but it does help. She is a 2. I have the alternative. And Rose Princess I use also because it's a level 3 and I do have some level 7 monsters, so it does help. And then also Baronne de Fleur is no longer banned, so I had added that back into the extra deck. So with Rose Princess, it's very good having this turn 1 because I get Cloister to then special summon any other plant monster in my deck. It's also really nice having turn 1 because I can just use its effect to get White Cloister to get a different monster card. If I don't have another monster card, if my opponent went first and has a monster out, I can special summon this card from the hand, so it doesn't take my normal summon. Aromage Rosemary. The thing with these actual like Aromage cards is that they're pretty cool, but their effects are mandatory. So sometimes it does end up screwing you. So you do have to be very careful with that. This one changes the battle pose of any monster on the field. But if the monster can't be targeted, then you have to end up switching yourself. Could be devastating. Stay Sailor Romarin, I try to only use for its effect where if it's discarded. So if it's discarded by a card effect, you can send a level 5 or lower plant monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. So pretty much from anywhere into the graveyard, but it also includes the extra deck. The reason why I like to do that is because I like to combo into another card that I actually ended up taking out of the extra deck because it ends up hurting me more than it helps me. But because it can include any card, I can use it to say put Laurel into the graveyard and then use its effect where if it's sent to the graveyard I gain 500 life points. The whole deal with this deck is to keep gaining life points. So I do have 2 Dion Kitos because sometimes you don't have a way to gain life points and your life points are lower than your opponent's, so you just need to be able to proc some of your effects. Raigeki, Harpy's Feather Duster to destroy spells. A surprising one, an old school card is Change of Heart. It's a targeting card. A lot of monsters aren't affected by targeting, but a lot of them also are. So you do have to be very careful and make sure that you know which one you're activating. I have Rosebell of Revelation because it will allow me to grab this monster specifically because that's the only one I work with from the deck to my hand. And I only have 1 copy of this, so it shouldn't be too bad. I did have a different one of the Rika Fairies out, but it ends up not being as useful. So the effect on Aromage Marjoram is that if the life points are higher, I don't take battle damage, including any of my plant monsters. It also has 2 different effects. So if a plant is destroyed, I can special summon from the hand. So this is a very good thing to have in my hand. And then if I gain life points, I can banish monsters up to the amount of monsters I control. So I think it's like a hard maximum of 5. And then Bergamo has an effect that increases the attack defense by 1,000 if I gain life points. And also, if the life points are higher, I inflict piercing damage on defense monsters. And the Rika Fairy I use mostly for its effect to change the level of the monsters on the field to make them level 8 so that I can summon the Teardrop Rika Queen. And you want to summon the Rika Queen because you can detach a material and then target a monster on the field and tribute it. A lot of monsters don't specify tributes, or they specify everything but tributes, and so you can tribute them even if you're targeting them, because it wouldn't be considered like sent to the hand or destroyed. It's tributed, if that makes sense. So it's like being used for a level higher summon, even though you're not actually using it. It's just the weird claws. So it's super specific. And every time a monster is tributed, you gain 200 attack. The Rika engine works a lot with tributes. I don't have to really use tributes, so I don't utilize that effect as much. It's really just for keeping it. It's very much so for keeping it as a quick effect. Hello there. So the last cards I want to just go over before we start is the Aroma Blend, which allows me to get all of my trap cards, which I'm not going to go into detail with. Aroma Garden is the field spell. White Cloister is the field spell that I mentioned earlier. I only ever use this to get another monster out, and only very rarely will I use its secondary effect, where if I guess correctly which card I pull, a level 7 or higher synchro monster gains 1000 attack. So that would help this card, and this card only. And then Child's Play is a funky card to have. I do enjoy keeping this because it helps me to gain life points when I otherwise wouldn't be able to. And it's a good way to punish your opponent for summoning a lot of monsters. It's also good bait in getting them to target this one and think that it's the priority card for your engine when it's not. I have Storming Mirror Force to return cards to the hand. This doesn't destroy the cards, which I think a lot of the newer cards are pretty protected of. Aroma Healing allows me to gain life points, but most importantly to banish it from the graveyard to special summon a monster and gain life points. So it's for me to pretty much like save and grace, like do something from the graveyard. And then Aroma Rinse plays with the life points if it's higher or lower in order to gain or get a monster back to the hand. It is more than 40 cards, but it's not more than 50 cards, so I can't throw away too many because I could risk decking out. Back. Start a ranked match. Okay. Going second. So he's got the Yubel deck. I've been seeing this a lot lately. Oh, Monster Reborn. So funny. Okay. So let's see. He's got a lot of spells. And he can't be destroyed by battle. And if it's destroyed, he can special summon. If I declare an attack, he can special summon. Okay. So I think I'm gonna use this card's effect. It'll be a little dangerous, but I'm gonna have to do it. Okay, he just activated a trap just because he can. He's gonna destroy my monster. Ooh. That means I'm not gonna be able to special summon next. He's gonna just like use all his traps because I summoned a level 2. Go ahead, man. Wow, this is like really not ending. It's a labyrinth deck, so labyrinth decks could take like 45 minutes, like on the slow side. So I have a feeling this is gonna take a while. Because I run a pretty defensive deck, and what did he put in his graveyard? I have to get the Absolute King backjack and summon it into my field. That's the only way I can actually protect myself. Or if he destroys this card by chance. Yeah, I'm not gonna use that yet. Using my heated blanket. Okay, so literally all I did was summon a monster. He like burned through half his card. What does he have in here? He does not need that stovetop. Well, they might end up sending something to their graveyard just because of the type of deck that it is. I might have to Monster Reborn my Aromage Jasmine. That might be the only thing to help me out here. And then if it gets destroyed, I have this. It's gonna return a monster, probably this one. Set another trap. So far they don't really know what's in my hand. Unless they're familiar with the Aromage deck. That card literally has 5 different effects. Oh my god. Alright, so this is gonna be super risky, but I might just have to do it. Like, are you gonna respond? He's got like a 12 combo. Like a 3-piece, 12-piece. Banish my card? Ah, screw you, man. That was the whole thing that was gonna save me. Should I just like quit now? What to do? I probably should just forfeit because this game's gonna take forever. Can I win? I don't know. It's a tough call. It's turn 2. I'll survive. Pardon me while I turn on my heating blanket. Return a card to my hand. Oh, his own card to the hand? I felt myself literally sliding off the... So right now the opponent seems to be trying to set up for that card that he just pulled right now, which is the lovely Labyrinth of Silver Castle. Right? So he's going to target a trap, set it to the field. But because he controls a fiend monster, which is like the whole deck, he's going to be able to activate it. So he's going to be able to set a card and activate that same set card the same turn. So it almost acts like just a normal spell card. So trap cards pretty much don't exist in the Labyrinth deck. They all become spell cards. They all end up being used like spell cards. And if another monster leaves the field, he can destroy a card in my hand and the... So this is pretty devastating. Probably should have FF'd early. But we're just gonna see what happens. That's the one card that does help me with the clearing. Ooh. Better. I'm just trying to special some. Life points. This to the hand. He doesn't have anything. So this is why I return this. In addition to whatever effect, it basically gives it the ability to destroy a card on the field. So on top of the effects that they... Alright, so I'm increasing my life points so that I can gain some life points in hopes to, there we go. Now I have stronger attack power. Don't have anything in the graveyard with graveyard effects. But they do. But because the opponent controls a you, gonna send its card. Right, it's material. Looks like he got the set trap. And because he's setting a trap, because he has that card, he can activate it immediately. Oh my god, I knew this would take so long. But like, just win already. You have to suck. Just gonna gain life points just for the heck of it. Right, so don't have any cards in my hand. Don't have anything useful in the graveyard, really. So I basically just have to survive this turn, get something out that's an Aromage card because I do have Angelica in the graveyard, and that does have an effect that allows me to back out. Level 1, so if I get a level 4 monster, get a synchro. Otherwise, I don't really have anything. Your own monsters on the field. You just destroyed your own monster. Oh man. I mean, they might think that that's like a mirror force and be a little afraid to swing. So he's gonna special summon a labyrinth monster. And he's returning a monster to his hand. I wonder what he wants to do with that. Yo, this peanut butter and dark chocolate dreams. So good. By Peanut Butter and Company. Not sponsored. Just so good. Like, I think this is better than Nutella. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes these duels take so long, I literally get up and make myself dinner. It looks like he doesn't negate the effect. He's just able to activate that effect because I did mine. The end phase though, I don't want to go. The opponent might end up running out of cards. I'm actually surprised that my card is still on the field. Yeah, like just go for it. Come on. Oh, he banished it. Or shit, I don't know. Crazy. Not enough to win. No, honestly, the possibility of winning right now at this point. He's gonna destroy that monster again. Oh my god. If I can pull this off. Doesn't declare any negations. Just declares that destroyed. Don't mind my cat. She's just been obsessively looking out of the window. I actually got away with that. Oh my god. That's so crazy. Harpy's Featherstorm. That's why like 25% of duelists still use it. Or was it 36%? It said some crazy number. All right. So I didn't want to surrender because I still wanted to get my points. it's not that many points. I activated the spell and I performed a special summon with all the points that I gave me. But it is important to get your spell and see maybe what you could have done wrong. For me, it was just bad game of rock, paper, scissors and guessing where these things were going. But honestly, I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open. I think I'm gonna catch you all on the flip side.